Hello everyone and welcome to this new video. Today we're going to learn English with the works of the Spanish painter Diego Velázquez. He is one of the most important and iconic painters not only in Spain but also in the world. And this is because of different reasons, like the combination of light and shadows that he uses to create atmospheres, the realistic way he depicts characters including animals, or his talent to show the expressions of faces in portraits, giving them an unusual strength and personality. Our aim in this video is to learn a little more with the stories told by the pictures, analyzing the historical context that can be found in them. The video is aimed at students that are in primary. However, everybody, even if you are an adult, is invited to watch it and learn with it. Diego Velázquez was born in Sevilla in 1599 and he died in Madrid in 1660. He is known and famous for being the official painter of the Spanish King Philip IV. Most of his paintings are found in el Museo del Prado in Madrid, but we can also find some other works in museums that are all around the world, like the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston in the USA or the National Gallery in London in the UK. After this brief introduction, we're going to study in detail some of his most important works. So let's go for it. Is there a hotter place in the world than a forge? Vulcan's forge has a mythological topic as it tells us the stories and affairs of Roman gods and goddesses. This work depicts the Roman god Vulcan, who is working with a group of men in a forge. A forge is a place where people work with fire and steel and they make weapons for war, such as armors, shields, hammers, swords, helmets, etc. Vulcan is the Roman god of fire and he is represented in this picture with a young body but an old man's face. Notice the similarities between the words Vulcan and volcano, so it clearly makes sense, does it? In this snapshot, we can see the visit of the Roman god Apollo, who is telling the audience that Vulcan's wife, Venus, is having an affair with Mars, the Roman god of war. That is why the men look so impressed and surprised, some of them with the open mouths, because they just don't believe Apollo's news. Velázquez liked to paint people that he used to know, like relatives or friends. Many people were dying to be on one of Velázquez's paintings, because at that time there was no other way to appear on a picture. Remember that there were no cameras or photographs to catch people's images in the 17th century. Light in this picture is an important element because we can see three sources of it. The first one is the door, the second one is the fire at the back of the characters, and the third one is the halo of the Roman god. Finally, we have to highlight the fact that the men are semi-naked because of the extreme heat that they are suffering. Are these two men friends and are they shaking hands? This painting is called The Surrender of Breda or the Lanzas. Unlike other paintings by Velázquez, this one doesn't depict a mythological topic, but it depicts a historical event instead. The action that can be seen in the painting takes place in the city of Breda, which is located in what we call the Netherlands nowadays, between the Spanish army to the right and the Dutch one to the left. We have to remember that at the beginning of the 17th century, parts of the Netherlands belonged to the Spanish Empire. And that is why the viewers can see a battle that has just finished at the background. If we stare at the center of the work, we can clearly appreciate that the leader of the Dutch army is giving the keys of the city of Breda to the leader of the Spanish army, General Spinola. And this gesture is really powerful, and it has a symbolic meaning, because when a person gives you the keys of his or her house, this person is inviting you to go there whenever you want, demonstrating that the Dutch army has surrendered to the Spanish one. General Spinola is showing an attitude which is not the common one, from a winner towards a loser, and this can be seen by the fact that he is putting his hand on top of the rival's shoulder, showing this way respect and understanding towards him and his army. We have to highlight that the lances or spears from the Spanish army are all straight, meaning that the Spanish army was stronger and much more organized than the Dutch one. All the spears and weapons from the Dutch army are less organized, showing the consequences of having lost the fight. Also, we have to recognize Velázquez's mastering at painting animals, in this case horses. Just look at them, they seem to be about jumping and running. The characters are developing different attitudes. Some of them are interacting among each other, and some of them are looking at the camera, or in other words, the painter's eyes. It is important to notice that General Spinola is holding what we call the command rod, demonstrating this way that he is the one that has the power as the leader of the Spanish army. Some people think that there is a self-portrait of Diego Velázquez in this work. A self-portrait is a painting that an artist takes of himself or herself. And what do you think? Is this man the real Velázquez, or he's just a lot like him? Who's this man? Is he a cowboy? Portrait of Count Duke of Olivares. This is a clear example of what we call a question portrait. On the one hand, it is a portrait because it shows the character's face and expressions. And on the other hand, it's a question because it depicts the character riding a horse. This painting depicts the image of the Count Duke of Olivares, or in Spanish, el Conde Duque de Olivares, that was a very important, a famous political figure at that time. And this was because he was the valido or minister of the King Philip IV. Now we have to explain that a valido is a minister, is a political figure who is in charge of the power, the government, or ruling the country. This happened because the King Philip IV put this responsibility on the Count Duke. The king was not absolutely interested in ruling or controlling the country, but he was more interested in going hunting or going to parties or having a good time instead. Also, he was very good at representing animals. Just have a look at this horse. It seems that he's going to jump outside the picture sooner or later. If you stop and stare at it, you would be able to see the muscles, even the veins from its body. We have to notice that Velázquez was a master, a genius in representing the faces of the characters. The strength and the power can be seen clearly in this picture. The Count Duke is holding the command rod on his right hand, and this shows us that he is holding the power too. Finally, we have to say that Velázquez is a genius at painting landscapes. The one that can be seen at the background is the typical one from Madrid. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one, where we will continue analyzing more masterpieces by Diego Velázquez.